When is Thanksgiving anyway? I feel like it's just creeping up on us. Welcome to Meals with Maria. If you're like me, maybe you've been cooking Thanksgiving stuff all month long. Probably not, but I have. However, Thanksgiving is sneaking up on me and I have nothing planned for my actual day. But thank goodness I already thought of some super easy sides and appetizers that you can make very, very simply. These are the last minute, I'm in a rush, what am I gonna do? Do I have the stuff on hand? Sides and appetizers of your dreams. We're going to get started with some mac and cheese cupcakes, and do not be fooled by how elegant these look because they're actually really simple and can be made with pantry ingredients. I'm starting off by cooking 8 ounces of elbow macaroni. That's something that I kind of always have on hand as a staple, and I think you could use a couple of other different like small pastas in this as well, and it would still work. And then you want to melt 2 tablespoons of butter in a large saucepan over medium heat. And to that, once it's all melted, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of flour with some salt and pepper, about a half a teaspoon of each. I was so grateful to finally go get a silicone whisk. Like for some reason, I never got one, and it's a game changer because if you're cooking in ceramic, you need a silicone whisk. So once your flour is mixed with your butter, you want to add in 1 cup of milk, and we're just going to kind of stir that, whisk that constantly for a couple of minutes until it's thickened. Bring it to just boiling. I mean, if you leave this for any longer than a few seconds, it will burn to the pan. So you just want to make sure that you're constantly whisking it. You can see that the point at which it's kind of, you can see the bottom of the pan once you whisk it, that is when your mixture is done. And to that, you want to add 2 cups of cheddar cheese. And this always shocks me how easy it is to actually make macaroni and cheese at home, like homemade mac and cheese. You just need butter and a little bit of flour. I mean, minimal amounts of butter and flour and a couple of cups of cheese, and you are done. Some milk. Yeah, we need milk. But those are all, to me, pantry staples, things that I always have in my refrigerator or cabinet, even like a shelf stable milk. So you can make a homemade mac and cheese like this in little to no time. And it feels like it's something you kind of slaved away at or something. I always felt like, oh, homemade mac and cheese, like that's so hard, but that didn't take us much time at all. So super easy. And you can make a super easy breadcrumb topping by taking a tablespoon of melted butter and adding a half a cup of panko or even just, I think, Italian breadcrumbs, and then add a tablespoon of dried parsley to that. Set that aside, and we're going to make the cupcakes. Now, if I was going to do this again, I would have gotten either the metal cupcake cups, or I would have just sprayed down the pan as it was and cooked them in there. These ones for paper from the Dollar Tree, and they kind of stuck. So you just want to be careful about the type of cup that you have. I probably could have just done it right in the pan and it would have been fine. And then you just want to really stuff those full as high as you can because you want them to really look like little cupcakes. And then we're just going to top those with the breadcrumb topping, and then also just another little sprinkle of cheddar cheese. I had about a 1/4 cup and I just sprinkled that right over the top. And then we're going to bake these at 425 degrees for about 20 minutes until your breadcrumb and cheese mixture is golden brown. Then you just want to let these sit for 5 minutes before serving. But look how pretty they turn out. And so like I said, not a ton of work, not a ton of ingredients, and we end up with something that really seems kind of over the top and gourmet. And Julian here was really frustrated because he really wanted to have one right then at that exact moment. I was like, you got to wait just a minute, let them cool off a little bit more, then we're all going to eat together. It's one of those things. I'm always like, we all need to sit at the table. You can't just grab things off the counter, even though he really wanted some. And he really did end up enjoying it once he had it. So if you do make these for Thanksgiving, be ready for the little ones to be trying to grab them off the table, ready to go. And sorry about his fingernails. He's 5. He plays in the dirt. Now, because grocery prices have risen, we can try and save all we want. We can use less ingredients, we can buy less expensive food, we can try and use things from our pantry. But the truth is, with the rise in grocery prices, we're gonna need to find ways to cut in other places. This means paying less for things that I already buy, that I already need, by finding alternative routes. And I have something you can do right now to save money. Switch to Mint Mobile, who I am partnering with on today's video. You may know Mint Mobile if you've seen those funny ads with Ryan Reynolds, who's actually one of the owners, but let me take a minute to tell you a little bit more about Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile offers premium wireless coverage for as little as $15 a month with no sacrifice to coverage or speed. They're built on the nation's largest 5G network, and they keep costs low because they sell directly to you online. They cut out the guy at the store trying to sell to you, trying to upsell. You don't even have to go in there. You can do everything online, and I'm a huge online shopper, so I love that. With Mint, it's like, why pay more to access the same network? It was incredibly easy to switch to Mint Mobile. I was able to do it right from my phone within about 5 minutes. I didn't need to talk to anybody. I could actually do it right from their app, and it took me no time. I was shocked at how fast and simple that it actually was. Once I was connected to the Mint data network, I didn't have any data interruptions, and everything worked just as fast as my old network, half the cost. I'll admit I was nervous because I don't live in an area with like great coverage, but my coverage did not falter at all. I was able to still access all of my apps and my streaming without any issues. Like I said, switching to Mint is super easy with their digital SIM cards. You can sign up and activate immediately right on your phone from the comfort of your home. You can keep your current device, which is obvious because you're doing it right from your home. And you can, this is a big one for me, keep your own phone number. That's huge. And if your phone is not eSIM compatible, Mint Mobile will send you a SIM card free of charge. All Mint Mobile plans include nationwide talk and text, as well as lightning fast 5G and free mobile hotspot. Mobile is also interested in helping you save and not spending on something you don't need. Each month, Mint will assess how much data you've used and then recommend plans to save you money. Mint also offers a modern family plan that will save you money on as little as 2 lines connected, which is us. So that's a great family plan for us, and we can save money on it. So really, stop spending more than you need to on your wireless bill and start saving big with Mint Mobile today. Click the link in my description box or go to mintmobile.com/mealsmaria to get premium wireless starting at $15 a month. So really, what are you waiting for? That's the question I asked myself. I'm like, what was I waiting for once I signed up? Make the switch to Mint Mobile and start saving today.
Now, these chive mashed potatoes were probably the best mashed potatoes I have ever made and had. So they definitely deserve a spot on your holiday table. And we're just going to start off by chopping some scallions, or if you have chives, you can use those. I just had some scallions, and I kind of always switch those out interchangeably. Again, we're just using what we have on hand, make things easier on ourselves. And this one is great because we're also going to use like kind of a convenience item to make them. So one thing I did to make things easier on myself was just get the really small red potatoes, so we don't have to peel them or anything. You can use any of the like tiny creamer potatoes. And if you want to save money, get the bigger ones and cut those up. That's going to be fine. Potatoes are also something I feel like most people have on hand at most times. And then we're going to add in a 1/4 cup of butter and a 1/4 cup of half and half for cream or milk. I think I just used milk because that's what I had on hand. And then 2 teaspoons of chicken bouillon. So that chicken bouillon is going to give it tons of flavor. And then we're also going to add in an 8-ounce container of chive and onion cream cheese. And this is what gives it all of the flavor, all of the amazingness, everything that is going to make everyone go, oh my goodness, these were the best potatoes I've ever had. It's just in the cream cheese. So you don't have to add like a ton of stuff. Just buy that at the store. It's the same price as that regular cream cheese, and it's delicious. And then just add a pinch of salt. Do salt to taste on your mashed potatoes. It's always like if you feel like your mashed potatoes like aren't quite there, it's usually salt because potatoes absorb a ton of salt. And mash them up. I kind of forgot to get that part on camera, but mix it all together. Give it a good mash. Use your favorite method. If you want to use like a potato ricer, or if you want to use a handheld mixer, you can do that. And then I just put mine in a casserole dish, and they're super easy to reheat in the oven, especially with a little bit of foil over the top, and put those scallions on or chives at the last minute. And yeah, that was a fast one because it's not a ton of ingredients. It's super easy. So if you're at the store, like grab yourself some chive and onion cream cheese and you can make these happen. All right, next up is a super low ingredient spinach dip with bacon, and you're going to be shocked at how delicious this is. Once I made it, I was like, why do we not put bacon on all the dips? Just put bacon on all the dips. So I heard this method, I don't even remember where, someone shared this method of defrosting spinach, and I thought it was genius. I loved it. So we're just going to take our frozen spinach. You can use kind of as much or as little as you want. I think use like half a bag of like 12 ounces, and then rinse it with hot water, and then you can really, and you can, lose your strainer at the same time, but you can really push all the water out of that and really drain it really well. And then you can cook your bacon, or you can just use like bacon bits, but In something like this, fresh cooked bacon is going to be pretty prime. So if you have some bacon on hand, go ahead and use that. I think pancetta would be also good with it. But back to that spinach. I love that method because then you don't have to heat it up. It's not like super hot on your hands when you're trying to wring it out. And you have to, like, we don't have extra time for that. So just by washing it with warm water, it just defrosted for me right away, which was super nice. And then we're going to grab, I don't know, a cup or two of Greek yogurt. This one is super relaxed. And if you do have or don't have things on hand, it's going to be fine. And you could use sour cream too if you have sour cream. And then we're just going to add like kind of the wrung out, if that's the right word, spinach to that, and going to grate in 2 cloves of garlic. And if you don't have fresh garlic, go ahead and use a couple teaspoons of garlic powder to taste. You can kind of taste it, see how it turns out. But that fresh garlic does add a ton of flavor, and garlic's always one of those things you can get really cheap. Just keep it on hand and it's going to give flavor to all of your food. And then add a sprinkle of your favorite seasoned salt. I'm using Auntie No-No's, and always just give it a taste as you go. Mix it up, see what you think. If you need to add something, then go ahead. I think a squirt of lemon in this would be really, really good too, but I didn't have any, so I didn't add it. And then we're just going to put it in a dip bowl and cover it with that crumbled bacon. And I was even saying that if you could do like 2 layers, like do a layer of the spinach dip and then put a layer of bacon in the middle, and then put the spinach dip on top of it again, and then put a layer of bacon on top. I like that idea a lot. I don't really like the idea of mixing the bacon in with it because I just feel like it would get like soggy. Like you kind of want it to be like that crumbly, that topping on it. But the 2 layers, I think I'm down with. I think if I was going to do it again, I would do 2 layers of bacon in between the dip. This one is so simple and such a crowd pleaser. I love it, and it tastes so good. Just serve it with some tortilla chips or maybe some pita chips. And my husband loved it. We were like in awe. It was so good. Next up, I have an apple maple pecan salad, and I love this because you can just grab these ingredients at the grocery store super quick, mix up a dressing if you want to. You don't even have to mix up your own dressing, and you're going to have a beautiful salad that is really going to be so visually stunning. People are going to love it, and it's just really simple to put together, right? You can just throw it together. You don't have to cook anything in the oven. So for the dressing, add a 1/4 cup of oil. I'm just using olive oil, but you can use canola oil too. A 1/4 cup of maple syrup and a 1/4 cup of lemon juice. To that, you want to add 1.5 teaspoons of Dijon mustard. Give that a good whisk and stir. Make sure that everything is mixed together. Add some salt and pepper to taste, and that is going to be a delicious Dijon maple dressing that is going to go over this fabulous salad. For the salad, you want to take 2 apples. You can use whatever type you want. I think I had like Gala. I think the original recipe recommends Granny Smith's, and then you just chop them up into smaller pieces. That's the fabulous thing about a salad like this, is you can kind of make it your own, whatever type of fruit you have on hand. If you want to switch it out and instead do some pears, you can do that, and it would still be delicious. And then I'm just taking kind of like a larger platter. So I find that especially if you're serving for a crowd, if you put salad on a large platter like this, it becomes more stunning. It kind of looks fancier, and it's easier for people to get to kind of all the pieces of it. And then I'm using about a cup of pecans. I'm actually using candied pecans because that's what I had on hand. But if you have regular pecans, that's going to be totally fine too. You can even use like walnuts or chopped up almonds. All of those would be really good in this. And then I'm using about a 1/2 cup of crumbled blue cheese, or you could use gorgonzola cheese. And I even think this would taste great with some feta or goat cheese. So any sort of soft cheese that you like to add to it, I think it would work perfect. Top that with the apples and drizzle with the dressing, and you have something that is visually stunning and perfect for your Thanksgiving table, and really didn't take too much time to put together. I hope you enjoyed these last minute ideas and got something for your Thanksgiving or holiday table. Make sure to click on this next video to keep the inspiration going and check out these amazing 4-ingredient holiday recipes.